Fred from Radio Venice International Film Festival. I'm Angelo Acerbi here with Gus Van Sant. Good afternoon, sorry.
Good afternoon.
Here for the film Dead Man's Wire. That is very entertaining and very funny and very serious at the same time, because it seems like a weird comedy, but then at some point we get to the theme, the issue of how manipulative and how news can be weird. The tale that the news do of the everyday life, and it's taken from a real fact that happened in Indianapolis in 1977. What was interesting for you on that?
Well, the interesting thing about the real event was that Tony he was almost playing it by ear, although he had prepared a lot. This abduction of a mortgage company's president, and he was going to. His plan was to go in to show the president of the company plans for his building that he was going to build on the mortgaged property, and inside the box for the plans was actually a gun that was designed to be like attached to somebody's neck, so he could like lead them around by the end of a gun, and demanding he wanted an apology, but he wanted the apology to appear on live television. So his request to let the man go was to appear on live television and have the mortgage company executive read an apology, which he never finally, through thick and thin, doesn't get what he wants really, but he keeps going for it. He keeps after it, and he and the man are eventually stalemated, and he's sort of subdued.
It's really strange watching the movie. I mean, we are used to watch contemporary movies or TV series on that kind of issue, and the way the police reacts is completely different. Back everything was very soft. They tried to be understanding, which is something that is really out of time for us, right?
Yeah, I mean, it happened in 1977. And the big city police were much more, there were people that were hired only if they lived in the city. There were people that grew up in the city. There were requirements that later in our policing in the U.S. and perhaps here as well, they turned into a more paramilitary operation where they don't live in the city, and the people of the city are treated like a sort of enemy of the police, where it used to be the police were of the people. So this is a time when the police were of the people, and they could get a lot farther in their travels, at least with his abduction, because the police weren't going to like mow them down with machine guns. Which I don't know, is it the same in Italy? The same?
Well, it started to become like this, yes, actually.
Which I think was a result of like during the Iraq War. There's a particular man in the United States that had this concept of changing the police forces of the cities, and started in one by one, like changing. And so Portland, Oregon, where I was living at the time, did change, and it's a shame.
Listen, there is a lot of original footage that you show at the end of the film that is giving us the idea of how handmade this abduction was and how fun it could have been, because the movie also has some moment of really pure fun and the tone of this grotesque situation. How do you manage to keep the line of the narrative without losing it through fun?
It was in the script. There were many sort of humorous moments, on each page of the script that weren't. It wasn't a comedy, a full-on comedy, but it was like one joke per scene, and a pretty good joke, and which I definitely noticed when I first read it. And on top of that, we kind of added our own humorous things to each scene. So there was, it turned into I think the characters themselves became very copacetic, and they became friends by default. They liked each other, but they had a job to do, which was be an abductor and an abductee. So that was funny in itself. Even though they were friendly with each other, he had to pretend to be like scared, especially in front of other people, which was funny.
Well, thank you very much to Gus Van Sant for having been with us here at Fred Film Radio from the Venice International Film Festival for the film Dead Man's Wire. I'm Angelo Acerbi for Fred, the Festival Insider.